Hey everyone. So a lot of you have been asking me, I'm a beginner in markets and how do I start trading? Now I've got this question multiple times in the last 6 months through various channels on Twitter, on my YouTube live channels, on my newsletters via emails. And I thought I'll start answering this question, and I'll start creating a series of videos that will help beginners start learning technical analysis and to start this trading journey. So as a first step, I'm going to today cover a tool or a charting tool that's one of the most famous used charting tools across the world. I'm going to cover how to use this tool and some very basics on like what is this charting tool, what is the pricing of this charting tool, do you have to go for premium or can you use the free version of this, what are the basics of charting, cover some basics of charting, how to read prices, what are the tools that you could use, what are the indicators that you could use, how to create a watch list, how to create alerts, how to replay the chart, and I'm going to cover all these things. But also do note that I've also pasted my referral link in the description section of this video, so you can use the referral link and also subscribe or log into this TradingView platform. So TradingView is the platform I'm going to cover today, and use that referral link. And I'll let you know, I'll be transparent. Only if you upgrade to a paid plan will I get commission, and that commission is $30. You'll also get $30. I'll also get $30. So it's a very fair game. So in case you want to really go for TradingView, after looking at this video, hit that referral link and log into TradingView. Okay, so let's start and let's look at today's video and let's dive into your journey of technical analysis with this first video of how to use TradingView.com. So I've already logged into TradingView.com here, and you can see here you have to just type TradingView.com on Google and it will take you to this page. Okay, so I'm already logged in, but in case you're not logged in, you have to log in and register just like how we register on any other social media platforms, and it will take you to this page, which is the home page. Now here, so basically TradingView is a charting platform where you can chart or do charting for your stocks that you hold, cryptos that you hold, or any instrument that is traded in this world. Okay, so this is a very global platform. It doesn't matter if you're from India, Germany, US, any other country in Europe, you will always be able to search that particular stock that you want here, and you will get all the stocks that you have in your holdings. So but before that, let's look at the pricing plan. Now if you're a beginner, you don't really have to get into a pro plan or a premium plan like how TradingView says, but there are some versions that of different plans. So you can use a free version. The only problem with free version is you have too many ads, and that kind of distracts me, and that's the reason why I have purchased the pro plan, which costs around $155 a year. Okay, so that comes to around around 12,000 rupees per year, and you don't really need the pro plus and the premium unless you're hardcore coder in PineScript. Then only you need those premium plans. Otherwise, as a basic user, you can still use a premium version if you're able to tolerate the ads. And there are some other features which you might not get. For example, in the basic version, if you see, which is the free version, you just have one chart per tab. Number of layouts is less. It doesn't really matter. But what really is the game changer for me is the number of indicators that we use. Okay, so for example, if you're just starting off in trading technical analysis, you don't really need many indicators. But if you want to really go into advanced mode and try multiple indicators, then you might want the pro version. Especially also if you want to do back testing on PineScript, then also you might need a pro version. Otherwise, you can just go through this. You can go here, and here if you see, as a basic user, you can only use 3 indicators per chart, but as a pro, you can use 5 indicators. So if you're still a little smart enough, you can still use the basic version itself. You can use multiple indicators using PineScript, but I'll leave that to you to figure it out. So otherwise, just take a look at this and you will see the different benefits that the pro plus and premium offers. But as I said, you don't really need to get into that for a beginner, right? So if you're a beginner, you can stay in the basic version and you can use the basic version itself. So now let's look at some of the basics of charting, right? So as soon as you go here, you would see the home page there, and in the home page itself, you will see a lot of different things. Like if you click on chart, it will take you to charting. So I'm going to click on chart, and let's move on to the charting section. But otherwise, also you can see different markets here across the world, right? You can look at cryptocurrencies, look at stocks, indices, futures, bonds, and all kinds of things. You can also follow some news if you want. There are some screeners which I don't use much, but TradingView is more of a community. So a lot of people post their ideas. So you can also see here a lot of ideas that are available here, right? So all these are different ideas which people post, and then you can also follow people like me, and you can see the ideas that I publish on TradingView. So that's how you can use it. And now let's move into the most important part, which is charting, right? Now what is TradingView? TradingView is basically a platform which helps you understand what is the price pattern of a stock. So let me just delete this, or we can move to Nifty just to keep it more clear, right? So I'll take a plain chart and I'll start from a plain chart. So as soon as you log into TradingView, this is how you will see, and this colors might differ based on what, if you're a beginner, you'll just see black, plain red and black. Now if you want to change the colors, you can go to settings here, or you do right click and you can go to settings here. So whatever you click, you will see a page like this, right? And you can change the body color, right? For example, here this is a candlestick chart. I'll come to charting the different types of charts shortly, but here you see a green candle and a red candle. So this is a candlestick chart, and you see a green and a red. So green is up and red is down. So if you go to settings, you can change this green to probably, let's say you want a black or you want a white, right? So if you want white, you can change it to white, or if you want a black, you can also change that to black, right? So depending on what you want, I'll leave it to you, but go ahead and try this. You can also remove the borders, it becomes just plain black and white. If you don't want wicks, you can remove the wicks, and you can do all this. So there are a lot of things here which I'll let you explore, right? But go ahead here. These are the main settings that you use. You also see the OHLC values here, open, high, low, and close. That also is available there. Then you can use a lot of different indicators. For example, if you don't want the indicator tile, you can just do that and this will go away, right? So you have many such settings, the scales you want to just, appearance, how you want it to look. And if there are any brokers you use, you can also use some other things also, right? Also events, if you don't want the dividends and earnings and all, you can just untick everything like I did, so that your chart is very clear and it indicates just the price movement. So that's how you land to the home page or the charting homepage. Now, as soon as you open, you saw that I landed on a candlestick chart. Now, in case you want to change the candlestick chart, you can click on this bar style over here, and you'll see a lot of different charting types. Now, one of the chart type is bar chart or a line chart, which most of us have used when we were studying back in our school days, right? So line chart is simple, nothing but it just shows you the closing price of that day. So for example, Nifty, closed this week, around 18,102, and that's what you see. You just see the closing price. Now, in case you want to see the open of that day, the high price of that day, the low price of that day, and the closing price of that day, then you can use something like a candle chart, right? So these are the two basic charts that you need. You don't need really others. It depends on you. Once you start gaining experience, you will explore the others automatically. I'm not getting into those, but I'm just saying that the candlestick chart is the most widely used charting types. And here you will see the high price, which is that high, and you see the low price, and you see the open and the close. Now, if you see here, you have OHLC. So this is the week of 18th October. So the opening, observe this here, the opening is 18,500, which is that point. The high point was 18,604. The low point was here around 18,034, and the closing price was 18,114.5. Right, now that's how you look at that week. Now, the next point I wanted to cover is the time frame. Now you know what kind of a charting you want to use, but back in school you might have used, for example, you could have used any example like a train moving at such speed, right? So train, let's say, is moving at a 50 kilometer, 60 kilometer speed. So that is the speed of a train. Now, similar way, you also have the price here on the y-axis. So on the y-axis, you see the price. On the x-axis, you see the time period, right? Now, the time period can vary depending on what kind of a trader you are, what kind of investor you are. Now, usually in markets, most of the traders who use markets, who use charting, use daily time frame. You can decide what time frame you want to look at the chart. By time frame, I mean the time frame tells you what the stock price did in that particular time frame. So for example, if you look at this bar over here, it is on the 19th of October. Observe the x-axis here. Now this bar is on the 19th of October. The next bar is the 20th of October, and the next bar is 21st of October. Now the recent day was 12th of November. I'm recording this video on the 14th of November. So the last trading day was on Friday, which is the 12th of November. So on the 12th of November, the open was, again, observe the OHLC. The open was 17,997, and then it went all the way up to 18,123. The high closed at 18,102. Now that indicates that the price moved up that day, right? Now, if you don't want to really look at daily, then you can also look at what happened in that week, right? So you can also look at, you click on W there, or you go here and click on W, right? You can do both, and you can find the weekly time frame, or you click on M, which is the monthly time frame. And monthly time frame gives you the long-term trends. So monthly time frame basically tells you that in the month of March 2020, which was the COVID month, crash month, we had such a big sell-off. The market went from highs of 11,433 to low of 7,511, right? So that shows you the monthly time frame. If you want to do intraday, then you can also move to 5 minutes time frame, right? So you go to 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So mostly people use 5 minutes. So if you go to 5 minutes, you will see what happened at 3:20 on the 12th of November, what happened at 3:25. So you can get into low time frames also. You can look at high time frames also. Now we look at more videos in the future on how to use different time frames for what purpose. But for now, all you have to know is, the bigger the time frame or the larger the time frame, the more smoother the price action, the price will be moving. If you move to lower time frames, there'll be a lot of whipsaws, which you can see, right? You see a lot of whipsaws here. But if you go to monthly chart, you'll see a very clear trend that has been forming in Nifty, right? So Nifty since November, it has been in a clear uptrend, or since the COVID crash, it has been in a clear uptrend. But if you look at the daily charts, you'll see a lot of movements. Right now it is coming down, but whereas in the monthly chart, you see it is just one candle there. Right, so that's what you need to understand at this point. And let's move on to the next one, which is how to also save your time frames. Now let's say you're an intraday trader and you want to use 5 minutes, then you mark that as a favorite and it'll pop up there, right? You want to mark, let's say you're more of an investor, then you can click on the daily time frame here, the star which is here, and it'll mark it as favorite. So for me, I've marked the DWM as favorite, and that's why you see them as favorites here. Okay, so these are some of the basics of charting on how to use TradingView and how to do simple charting. Now, how to read the prices that is displayed here. Now, as I said, you have a y-axis and x-axis. Now, any chart that you plot is always going to be the y-axis and x-axis is going to be the same. So if the price moves higher, then the y-axis will expand. Otherwise, it's going to be the same, right? So OHLC is what you will be mostly looking at. In fact, 100% of the traders, when you look at, if you want to see this charting price for that day, then you just keep the bar or the cursor here, and then you observe this value here, and then you see what was the low, what was the high, what was the close, and others. So also, how do you scroll the charts? Now if you want to zoom in or zoom out, so if you want to zoom out, then you just scroll the mouse, you use the scroll on the mouse and move it back, and it will zoom out. Or you could also use the button here, to zoom in, right? So if you just click on that point, it zooms in, and then you click on zoom out, it will zoom out, right? So you can also do this and draw a bar at that point, it will zoom in and it will show you as much as close as possible. And if you click on this minus, then it comes out. Or use a scroll in the mouse and scroll forward, it will zoom in, and scroll backward, it will zoom out. So that's how you do it. Now let's say you want to move back and forth in terms of time period. So you just click the chart and you drag it, right? So you drag it left, so the chart moves to the left, and then you get to see the past price behavior. If you want to see the future price behavior, then you not the future but rather in the forward, then you just move your mouse to the left, and then you see the charting or the price towards your right. So that's some of the basics that I wanted to cover on how to read price. Now I use TradingView day in day out, and I use a lot of tools that that help me doing technical analysis, and it's very important to understand the different kinds of tools that you have in order to understand technical analysis. So let's look at these tools now. Here, if you see, you can also search. You click on that Nifty, there's symbol there, that bar there, and you can search a lot of different things. So let's say you want to search Bank Nifty, and click on that, Bank Nifty opens up. Or let's say you want to search some TCS or some other stock. You just type TCS, or if you don't know the symbol, then you can just say Tata Consultancy, and you might get Tata Consultancy Services. So as you are in markets, you will know the symbols much better, and you can just directly type a symbol and you might get. Now, if you see here, we have a lot of different options. You can see crypto, you can see indices, CFDs, which mostly in the Europe and Western markets are used. Then you have futures and all that. So if you want to, let's say, see only the futures price of in India, then you click on futures and you just say TCS, then you'll see only the future prices of TCS. Also here you have a lot of sources. So in case you want to, always, if you're a trader only focused on NSE, then click on NSE, and you'll always have only NSE data coming. Otherwise, you'll see all kinds of stocks. For example, previously, if you type TA, you'll get a lot of other stocks, but right now you get only NSE stocks, right? But if I remove this, and if I click on all sources, and if I type TA, you're going to get a whole lot of stocks across the world. So you don't want to do that. You can click on NSE and filter them. Also, you can do, you see a lot of different operations here. Now, for example, if you want to see, what is the combined price of TCS plus Infosys, right? And if you want to just trade these two stocks, and if you want to look at them, then you can just do TCS plus Infi and you put enter, then you'll get the combined price of TCS plus Infi and the combined chart of TCS plus Infi. So overall, if you see, if you want to trade both, then you buy both TCS and Infi here, and you ride the uptrend in the stock, and you kind of exit when you want to exit. So that's some of the search basics that you want to use, and that might help you, right? But apart from this, also I want to cover some of the tools that you see here. There are a lot of tools which can help you, but I don't use usually more than 10% of the tools. I don't usually more than 90% of tools I don't use. I use probably 10% of TradingView, because there's so much of capabilities that TradingView has. So the first one is Trendlines, right? So Trendline is something that you want to see the trend of the stock. You just click on this and you just drag this, then you see the trend of the stock, right? So that's simple. A trend line. You just click anywhere, like for example, you want to see this trend, you click on that and you just drag it, and you will see that's the trend. And right now the combined share of Infi and TCS is breaking out. Okay, let's move to Nifty. Just to keep it more simple. So if you just click on this, and then you can drag and see the trends which is happening. So that's a trend line. That's the first tool that I 90% use. The second tool I want to cover is info line. You can use trend angle. Now, trend angle helps you identify how strong the trend is. For example, if you click on this, I chose select a trend angle, and if you click on this and you just drag that point there, you will see that this trend, the steepness of this trend is 31 degrees, and this 31 degrees signifies that this trend is pretty steep. Right now, by pretty steep, I mean it's completely relative. So if the angle is even more like this, then it's even more steeper. Now remember, trend lines, the more steeper the angle, the lesser reliable it is. So if a trend is like this, then it's more reliable. It might continue higher and higher than a trend line which is like this. Okay, so the chances of a stock breaking down is more high when the trend is like this. Okay, so that's a trend line that I use, and there are a lot of other tools that you can use. You can use horizontal lines, horizontal rays. You just click on that, you drag, you can draw a horizontal line, and there are a lot of other tools you can go and use. But the most important things that I use is parallel channels is also something that I use. You can just click on that, you drag it there, and then you can drag the mouse there and you can draw a parallel channel, right? So that's also one of the tools that I use predominantly. So as a beginner, what you need to understand to use is trend lines, probably arrows, probably parallel channels, and horizontal and vertical lines. That's all you need to use from here. The next one is for a little more advanced. If you've been in markets for some time, then you can use Gann, which I don't use. I don't have any idea how Gann works, but you can use Fibonacci retracements and trend phase Fibonacci extensions. I'm not going to cover them here, but you can watch separate videos on how to use them. But for a basic beginner, what you can do is take a Fibonacci retracement, take the lowest point and take the highest point, and drag it. And then you can see how much a stock has retraced. Now, for example, let me draw this again, and I'll show you a basic usage of this. You want to connect the lowest and highest point, and then you want to wait. So these are major levels from where a stock can reverse, right? So you want to observe what's happening around that point, right? For example, if you see around this point, there's a major support. So if the by chance Nifty comes around 17,400, the chances of it going higher is very high. So that's one of the things I wanted to cover. Now, apart from this, one thing that I use more is rectangles, and sometimes I also use curves, but these things are really helpful. So you can just take a rectangle, click and drag, you can draw a rectangle. It's as simple as that, right? So there are a few other things that here I use is curves, right? So curves is nothing but you take this and you see that's a curve there, and you just drag that down and you can draw a curve. Right, so curves and rectangles is something that I use, and you might also want to use. Also, you can use path, right? So path is you want to see how the stock is going. You click on that, you click on that like that, and you can keep dragging it, right? So that's the path of the price movement, right? So these are simple tools, but they help you understand, what is the trend and all that. And you can click on double click to finish, and it's over. So that's something that you can use more. Then you have some annotation tools, right? So you want to write, let's say, something that Nifty has broken out here. So you can click on there, I can type Nifty breaking out, and then you can choose a border, a background if you want. You can, right now I have a border, I want to remove the border, I remove it, and you can wrap the text, so that it fits in one box. You can change the font, you can change the color. There are a lot of different things that you can use. Also, if you want this text to be available only in the daily time frame, then you just remove all others. Then this text will be displayed only on the daily time frame. So there are many such nice things that TradingView has. Okay. Also, there are many other tools that you can use to annotate. It's up to you how you want to use that. Okay. But coming to the next one is patterns, right? For example, if you want to see, head and shoulders pattern. So what you have to draw is, so head and shoulders pattern is like this: a left shoulder, then you draw the head, and then you just leave it there and you just draw the right? So that forms a head and shoulder. So you can also draw patterns. I don't really use that much. So it's up to you how you want to use it. But let's move on to the next one, which is to measure the price movements, right? For example, let's say you want to see what is the risk reward of your trade, right? So example, let's say you are taking Nifty right now, you're going long. So you just place it there, right? And you move Nifty to that point. Let's say you entered around 18,100 on Friday's close, and that is a stop loss. So what you can do is, I'll just zoom in to show you. So let's say you entered right at the close of the day, you entered around 18,101, and your stop loss is around that low point. So here the stop is 1.66% away, or 299 points away from the entry price. So that's the risk you're taking. And let's say you want to exit the you plan to exit somewhere around that point there, around the high point. So you're gaining a total of, let's move this here. Yeah, so you're gaining of 1,400 points you're gaining 500 points move there, or 2.8%, right? So this brings you to a risk reward ratio of 1.69. So basically your stop loss here was 299 points and your target is 507 points from the entry price. So your overall risk reward is 1.69. So that's something that I use more to check how much is the risk reward for my stock. I'll repeat again. You click on this, you take a long position, you try to place where you want to place, and you just correct that low point. You correct that low point to that point, and then you drag this to your target, right? So that's your risk reward is 1.69. So that helps you in identifying your risk reward. You can also do the short position, and I use date and range very often. So you can click on date. For example, you want to see from this point to this point how many days it has been, right? So that's 24 days or 17 sessions, right? So that helps you understand what's happening, or how many days that particular downtrend has been or uptrend has been, right? So if you want to also measure the price range, right? For example, if you want to see from this point how much the price has dropped, then you just drag it down. So price has dropped 5.3% overall from that high to low point. Now let's say you want to combine both, right? So you just click on that, click on date and price range together, right? You click on that and then you extend that, right? And you drag it down, right? So now you see price dropped 5.37 days in 24 days, right? So that's a combination of both. Now let's look at some more things down. So if you look here, we also have many other things which you can use, right? So predominantly I use long and short to understand the risk reward, date and price range to understand the price pattern. So also there are many other things here. You can use a lot of icons. For example, you want to plot an arrow, you just click there, you get an arrow, right? So you click here, you want to, let's say you want to plot a tick mark, you click on the tick and you just click here, then you have a tick mark, right? So that's some of the symbols that I use. Then there's a measuring tool which is very useful. Now if you click on the measuring tool, you can also see what is the price movement, right? For example, instead of clicking on long short, you can just click on this measure and it measures, right? So you can also do this and measure the days, right? 24 days, and that move has been this one. So it's a combination of date and price, just that this, if you click out, it goes away immediately. That more of sticks to your this one. So there are a few other things like here, for example, let's say you have drawn a lot of things, right? And you want to delete everything. So, or you want to hide them. So you click on this tool here and you just say hide drawings, and the drawings will be hidden. Or let's say you want to hide indicators, right? So I'll come to indicators, but you can also hide indicators and drawings. Or if you want to remove the drawings that you have, then you can just click on this and remove drawings, or even right click on the screen and just say remove drawings or remove indicators. So if you remove indicate drawings, it just removes all the drawings. So be careful not do that. And that's also something that you can use. Okay, so now coming back to a few other things that I wanted to cover is the indicators. So TradingView has a lot of indicators, and TradingView is one of the most used platform in the world, and it also has given the ability for the public to write their own indicators and share it. Now that's the most powerful thing according to me in TradingView. Okay, so if you click on that bar over there, it opens a section like this, and then you have favorites, which are the indicators that you have marked as favorites. So let's say you want to plot moving average, and that's something that you have used very often. You just search moving average, then you have multiple variants, right? So you have my scripts, so that's a script that I have coded myself. Then you have built-ins, which is also here. Built-ins are the proprietary indicators of or the indicators developed by TradingView themselves. And then you have community scripts. Now community scripts are developed by the community, by public, by more people like us. And then what you can do is you can just click on this, or you can mark them as favorites. Yeah, so let's click on one of this, and you can mark them as favorites there, right? So once you mark them a favorite, then it's going to come and appear in your favorite section. But otherwise, you just click on this and it will be added to your chart. Like for example, right now, this chart has been added. Now you can do a lot of modifications in the TradingView indicator settings. So you just hover on it, you can hide it, or you can unhide it. Then you can go to settings and you can modify the parameters that you want. For example, you want to see the 20-day moving average. You click on 20 and you can see 20-day moving average, right? So there are many things like that you can do in terms of indicators. You can also check out the code. You click on the source code and then you can also see the source code, right? So source code is here and that's the proprietary indicator. It's a very simple source code done by TradingView. You can take this and modify also and save it as a new script. So there are many such things that can be done in terms of indicators, but the most powerful thing is developing your own indicators, and it will take some time to get there, but definitely you want to use it. Now some of the other indicators that might help you is super trend, built-in. Always go for built-ins if you don't know which public indicator to use, because public indicators might have some faults. Okay, so that's the next thing that I wanted to cover. And you can also once you have your indicators here, what you can do is you can say create a template, and you can save that indicator template. You can give a name for that, saying test, and save it. You can also remember the symbol and the interval. So you can always load this in Nifty, or you can always load this in the daily time frame. If you click on that, that's what is always going to happen when you click on this template. So for now, I'm just going to remember that symbol and remember interval. I'm going to save it. And now if you go to your templates, you will see something called a test, right? So you see a test there. So once you click on the test, you will see this chart loading up again, right? So always that will load up. So you can also remove the templates if you don't want, or you can mark them as favorites. But for now, I'm just going to remove it so that I don't mix up mine, right? So there are a lot of things that you can use in TradingView. So the next thing that I wanted to cover today is alerts, right? So alerts are very important, because especially if you are trading very often, then you want to use alerts, right? So the alert symbol is here. You have to just click on that create alert, right? And then you will see a pop-up. So alerts are very helpful, especially if you want a particular price, if it's crossed, or if you, let's say you want to buy something on dips, then you can place an alert and say once it crosses that price, give me an alert, and TradingView would give you an alert. And that's one of the most powerful indicators. Now alerts are obviously not everyone gets, the basic users don't get many alerts to add them in the TradingView. So you might want to subscribe to a higher version or a premium version in case you want alerts, right? So once you click on alert, you saw I get a pop-up, and now you want to say, let's say Nifty crosses 18,102, then you say you want once, or you want it every time. And then you can say expiration. You can give I think the 60-day expiration for an alert, 30 days expiration, and then 60 days. And then you can say how you want to notify. You want to notify an app. There is also a mobile app. In case you don't know, you can send an email. You can use a webhook, and I use webhooks to trigger my algo that I have. That's why you see algos coming up there. And then you can play a sound, you can send an email to SMS, and you can name the alert. So let's say you want to name it test, and you create, right? So as soon as you create, it's saying, yeah, that's okay, you can ignore, continue anyway, and then you will see the alerts popping up here, right? So if you see, I've already have some alerts here, and the test alert also has come here. Now let's say you want to modify this, then you can click on edit, and then you can edit and do whatever you want. Also, you can pause the alerts in case you feel that this alert is troubling you a lot. You just click on pause, and that alert would be paused as well. So for now, I'm going to remove it so that I don't get it mixed with mine. So I'm just going to click that. Okay, and that's the alerts. And you can also use alerts in many other ways. For example, let's say you've drawn a trend line there, right? And you want to know when this trend line is breaking out, right? So you click on that trend line there, and then you get this pop-up. Then you click on that alert, and you say when it crosses the trend line, let me know only once or how many more times you want, and just save the alert, and it will give you an alert, right? So that's how powerful TradingView is. Now there's another feature which you might not use, but let's say you want to see what happened since this day. You want to see how the price moved, right? So you want to see a replay of that price action. So what you have to do is click on this here. You have this replay here, click on that, and you have to just click on the bar from where you want to see the future price action, right? So and click on that, and you see that it's already opening up. And now if you click on play here, the moment you click on play, it will start plotting the charts. Now that's a very beautiful way to understand how markets are playing out. If you want to demonstrate someone how markets are playing out, then you can show that very well, right? So it's a very beautiful tool. You can also reduce the speed by using this. If you move that, it goes slow. If you move that, it goes even faster, right? So this also moves it forward, right? You see how fast it's plotting now. You can also move to the next, and then if you want to cancel this, let's click on that button, Okay, so that's one of the features that I wanted to cover, which I'm really impressed with TradingView. And next one is Watchlist. So you can also create watch lists. I also have some watch lists already. Click on create new watch list, and say test and save, and then you can create a new watch list. And now you click on this plus and you can actually add stocks. Let's say you want to track BTC, you add BTC there. You want to track Ripple, as this one, you can track Ripple. So along with I also want to track TCS, you can click TCS and add it there. Right, so you can add hundreds of watch lists. I don't show exactly how many, but you can add hundreds of stocks in case you want. You see, already have some there, so you just click on that and the chart opens. Right, so it's as easy as that. And you can also sort the watch list by name, by the last price, by change, and all that. So it's a very powerful feature again in terms of creating watch lists. So there are a lot of other features as well, that I'd like to cover. Especially there are some advanced features which you can do, but I want to close off with one feature which I use in order to post on Twitter is take snapshot. So if you click on snapshot, you can save this chart or you can copy the chart image, and once you copy, it is there in your copy, and then once you paste it wherever you paste it, it'll paste it there. For example, I copy chart and I paste it on Twitter, it posts on Twitter as an image. You can copy the link, you can also tweet the chart image directly. Right, so these are some of the features that TradingView has. It's an excellent tool, don't forget, and especially if a beginner, you must start using TradingView because this is the best charting tool that I've seen and I've used all my in my entire trading career. In fact, many of the big brokers in India are also integrating with TradingView. For example, Fires has it, even Zerodha has it, and they've realized that TradingView is a very powerful tool, and that's why everyone is using this as a charting tool. So don't forget, in case you want to really use TradingView, there is a description. In the description link, you can find my referral link. Don't forget to clear your cookies if you've already used TradingView, because if you already use TradingView, then it will not really give the referral bonus for you and me. So you want to clear that and then try logging in to TradingView using my referral link in the section below. So I'll leave you here. I hope you enjoyed this if you do like this video, share this video with your friends so that everyone learns how to use TradingView. This is the very core of technical analysis, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video before you drop off. Thank you. I'll leave you here. Stay safe and trade safe and take care. Bye-bye.